It's the weekend. It's Mailbag, renamed Ball Bag this week because the Toffees were, abject isn't even the word for it. On this week's show, I'm joined by Paul and John. Sadly, Ian can't make it because he's picked up some horrible sounding lurgy. On this week's show, we've basically got a massive amount of moaning about Everton and some music chat. So it sounds perfect to me. We'll get straight into it. At the hot topic, let's go. The angriest you've ever been at the match. I don't think yesterday was my angriest. I think that might have been the 4-1 against the Reds when Benitez was in charge, possibly. But it ran it close. It was maybe more disappointed than angry. I don't know. I can't quite work out where my emotions were. Paul, what about yourself?
I tweeted immediately after the game yesterday, but being deadly serious. I think I wasn't angry at the match yesterday. I was really, really annoyed and pissed off with the way we were playing. But I had a proper crash out in the upper south yesterday after that disallowed goal, because I just felt like Barry. That kid just needs a break at the moment. He's got no luck. The time the ball finally comes to him, and even the finish. You know what? The finish weren't clean, but it's in. You think, come on, lads, pick up from here now. And then I just seen that miserable piece of shit in the refereeing shirt yesterday just do that with his earpiece. I've got a separate moan about this, so please come back to me on this particular situation later. But I seen him do that, and I just immediately thought, I just felt like white rage. I just went, just disallow the fucking goal so I can get on with my life. And I just lost it. And there was load of laughs behind me. But I weren't doing it for that reaction. I was that done.
It's the pantomime of it and everything, isn't it? It's like you say, just disallow it. Let's not do this dance again, because we've seen it all before. None of us like it. And I think with Pawson as well, although he probably never directly had any impact on the result yesterday because Everton were just absolutely teared.
Yeah,
It's no coincidence that that's now 18 defeats in 32 matches he's refereed. 18. And I think we've won 6. Now, that's just a weird record, and it can't be a coincidence. There's just something there, isn't there?
No, there has to be, because it's that blatantly obvious now, anytime. I said to Keith in the Denby yesterday, there was an incident where I think it's Alanga is going for the ball at the sideline, Grealish throws the tackle in, Everton win the throw. Then 2 off the ball, I think it's Chow and another Newcastle player go down. When play restarts, he's going to throw into Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going mad. I was like, I'm the only one who's noticed this.
I saw that entire incident, and Pawson gave the throw to us.
Yeah.
The liner gave it to them.
And he's gone with the linesman.
But the linesman was 25 foot away. Pawson was 7 foot away.
And when does the referee ever take any notice of the linesman in a situation like that, by the way?
When it's Pawson and Everton.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just little things like that. In the scheme of the game, again, it's not a massive incident, but they stack up, don't they? And it's just he just needs to stop refereeing Everton. We just need to ban.
It's little things though, isn't it? At 1-0, Michael Keane had that shot that deflected and went over.
Yeah.
Could have gone anyway. Now, I could probably count on my 40-odd years supporting Everton the amount of times them balls go in for us, on one hand.
Yeah.
Everything. And I'm not saying Newcastle were the better team. They were by far better than us, and you can see that in the midfield. They had a midfield of Lewis Miley, and who I think is a good little player anyway. I think he's one of those underrated players. You have Bruno Guimaraes, who's one of the best midfielders in the country, and Joe Linton, who's better than anything we've got. And we had Tim Irabunam and the Mel's McMahon. So, that's the light most. The only thing more lightweight than our midfield yesterday was James Garner's hair. That's.
Yeah, these Phil Neville frosted tips need to go, don't they?
Well, just the whole hair, just shave it off and admit that you're going bald. You're not fooled. No one's being fooled by you dyeing the blonde bits. But it's time. But we're not going to win a Premier League football match with them two in midfield.
No, not at all.
I'm sorry, but Irabunam is not a footballer. He's not a Premier League footballer.
We'll come on to him in a minute because Mike's asked about him. But John, what's the angriest you've been at a match? Was it yesterday?
No, yesterday was one of those ones, you know, when you're a kid and your mum goes, "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed," you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The most angry I've ever been in a football match was McAllister in 2001.
Actually, yeah, yes, I'm there.
That was like, honestly, like, I'm surprised I didn't go green and like all my clothes started ripping. You know, because the rage out of me that game. I mean, to be honest with you, most of it was aimed at Paul Gerrard, and still is.
Yeah. But it was the whole atmosphere of that game, wasn't it? I think everybody felt like that from kickoff. It was like, because it was such a late kickoff, Good Friday, wasn't it, I think?
Bank Holiday Monday.
Oh, Bank Holiday Monday, yeah. And everyone was bladdered. It was just a horrible, horrible atmosphere.
The worst thing is, I was stone cold sober.
Oh, mate.
The most
Probably a good job.
Was a bottle of Fanta. And I was still like acting more pissed than the piss fellas. That's the closest I've ever come to spewing the game completely. Because I was looking at Walter Smith on the sideline, I was looking at Paul Gerrard in goal, I was looking at the likes of Abel Xavier, I was looking at just the absolute turd we had in that midfield, like Alexanderson and people like that. And I just thought, what's the point anymore? Yeah. What's the point? Yeah. Little did I know that they would have been one of the high points of the 21st century.
And you know, the thing that annoyed me most to think about yesterday, though, is the fact that why can't we ever take the piss out the Reds for just a slightly prolonged period? We've had about 5 days of it there, and then it comes crashing down, and they go above us without even playing because we were that bad. It's like, is that what we get? Really, it's awful.
Yeah, but it's Everton, isn't it? It's Everton's the football equivalent of wearing a hair shirt, isn't it?
It is.
We don't do it for the joy. We don't do it for the fun. We don't do it for anything other than the fact that we know that we are probably going to football in heaven at the end because we've suffered. Now, I know it's all relative compared to other clubs, but other clubs go, well, you're still in the Prem and all that. And I go, yeah, but you haven't had Liverpool as your neighbours for the past 50 years.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough having your local rivals as your bogey team. But then when you throw in the fact that they're like the most successful team in the country as well, and they know it, and they never shut up about it, it's like people don't quite understand how bad it is, do they?
I went in the shop after the game yesterday. Like, went up, picked the car up from my mum's, went to the shop, and I'm in there, and I'm having to bite my tongue. Got like some six-fingered mutant in his. I think I genuinely. Pardon.
Dan Burn.
Even more of a mutant than him. And he has a minty Liverpool top on. It may have been the Carlsberg one that looked pink from like 2001-ish.
Yeah.
And he was wearing that. That's genuine. He's going, the blue shag got stuffed, didn't he? Lad. And I was just like thinking, mate, you've got like 3 teeth and 7 fingers, on each hand. and the teeth are on his hand as well. But he's just going on and on. And I'm just thinking, mate, well done. You're above us on goal difference.
From that game.
Yeah. After spending the equivalent of a GDPR of like a small nation, on like 2 of the worst signings that have been made so far.
Yeah. We walked past the pub on the way back, and I had my Everton bobble hat on, and some fella clocked it, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and Louise just grabbed me and was like, don't, because he was definitely going to say something to me, and I'd have definitely said something back, and it would have escalated. But like she gave me that look, and she grabbed me as if to say, let's just keep going, and let's forget everything happened this afternoon.
We were walking up, Boundary Street, as you go past Sandhill, past the train bridge, walking past there, and some old woman was leaning, well, old, like she was like 60 odd, going, where'd you go, lads? Where's your wing gone?
Why would you like that? It doesn't matter what age they are or whatever, they just...
And I just went, with your teeth, love. Ignored me.
So the big question then before we move on, what time did everyone get off? So we did speak about this off air before we recorded, but I thought it was a nice one to go into. I didn't see past the 40th minute. So long story short, yesterday I ended up in the club view seats in the East Stand, which was very, very, very good view. It's nice. Liked it. Bit weird watching it from not behind the goal because that's where I'm used to. But yeah, it was sound. So what's that?
That's why we lost then.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
So in 40 minutes, we were like, come on, let's go down and get a scran. So went down. By the time we'd been served and had our food, which was awful, by the way. The turkey burger, my God. Do you know the way, like, in Mackey's and Burger King and that, they put a picture of a burger up, and then the reality of it isn't quite the same? Oh, my, this was like nothing you've ever seen. It was the worst burger ever. Anyway, so we were just about to go back up. We were literally at the stairs to walk back up, and we heard the fourth go in. And it was like, should we just go? So I phoned my dad, who was round in our seat, and we all just got off. We all just got the train back. We'd actually come over on the ferry, which wasn't leaving till 8 o'clock. And we were like, well, we're not hanging around for this. We got the train back and ended up having to get back to Seacombe. But yeah, I lasted 40 minutes, let's say. John?
59 minutes. As soon as Malik Chill's second header went in, and I started having Mickey van der Ven flashbacks, I just thought, that's it now. And, you know, normally I would stay, but my father-in-law wasn't there. And I said to you earlier, he would have stayed till 20, at 22 nil, he would have stayed the full game. But I just thought, I'm taking advantage of that and I'm going.
Yeah. Paul, you had the staying powers. Ex-Park Enders can only dream of, didn't you?
Yeah. So, yeah, I lasted the duration. No, I'm not insane. Yes, everything's fine. I am okay. Please don't report me to Samaritans. Everything is okay. Yeah, like as I said earlier, my brother left when the fourth went in, and I didn't blame him because I was there at 3-0 when Baltimore had scored before half time. In fact, I seen Matt Jones at half time, and we were strongly considering going there. But obviously, like me going to match, it's not often like I see my dad as much these days because I'm living in like the North End and he's back in the South. So when I go to the game, it's obviously like spending time with my dad, and my dad he's like me, he can lose his shit at Everton, he can be as angry as he wants with them. But ultimately, like the reason we go to the games, like that's our thing. We spend time together. But I just when that third went in, like that was me just checking out, and I just like fell silent at half time, went down for the pints, came back up on the fourth, went on the four. And I almost looked at me dad as if, do you want to go? And he was like, just determined and resolute to stick it out. So there we were.
Yeah.
I did think of a really angry time I've been at a match previously though. So there was the Harlem Shake Up Wigan, which was also my birthday weekend as well. So that was great when we got knocked out the cup. But the angriest I've ever been, I was sat ironically in the Park End for this game. The opening day against Arsenal, we lost 6-1.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't like anything to do with the performance. It was the singing of Joleon Lescott's name beforehand. And then he delivered that performance. And then I just felt myself just being filled with just white hot anger all throughout. So that's probably genuinely the angriest I've been at the match.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, we'll move. Oh, so we got some answers to this. Tangled Up in Blues. The previous time we lost 4-1 to the Barcodes in April 23. Incompetent and gutless, was convinced we'd be relegated. That was a bad time, that. And Dave said Wigan at home under the same dickhead manager after being unbeaten in 6 to get swatted at home 3-0 to then winning 5 at home on the spin. Chaotic manager. Chaotic manager is like, it's quite right that he's always got a good hiding in him, hasn't he, Moyes? I remember years ago it was West Brom, it seemed to be they'd stick 4 past us on occasion. His teams have always got that. Just, why did it have to be them yesterday? It's just horrific. Right, on to Timo Rabunum. Don't want to dig anyone out personally, but here we go. Mike said, can we stop pretending there's a player in there with a Rabunum? Also stop pretending that it'll be hard for Branthwaite to get back in. Solve the right back situation. Big Jake just isn't very good there, is he? Should he just try Keane there? Might as well have some fun with it. John, you had a good take on why it will be hard for Branthwaite to get back in.
Yeah, because he's always injured.
Yeah, there is that like.
Honestly, the lad is absolute class, but he's got muscles and tendons and ligaments made of cheese. So, you know, as much as no one wants to say it because he is potentially £100 million player, but he's 22, 23, and he's getting these injuries now. What's he going to be like at 26, 27?
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
And I know this is I'm going to get a lot of kickback here, but sell him. Look at Palace's scouting. They've signed that. I know some people might not rate him, but he signed that Chris Richards, who I think is quality. You know, I know he's not exactly like a hidden talent coming from Bayern Munich and that, but no one else went for him. You know, look at who other teams are signing. Even that kid at Brighton, that Jean-Paul Van Hecker, I think he's a great player. Him. You know, and we're saying everything will be all right when Branthwaite's back. Yeah, he's back in October. No, we don't know when he's back now. And the thing is, it's, you know, partially like we're saying about like that, but we played 5 yards further up the field with him. With Michael Keane and Tarkowski, we're about 70 foot behind the goal now because they can't get that ball forward. They can't move with the ball. We're seeing James Tarkowski trying to look like he's Branthwaite by moving out with the ball, and he's like Bambi on ice skates. So, you know, we'll say about Branthwaite, but he's never gonna make it fully because he's too injury prone. And I don't care what anyone says. That's the fact is, the facts bear out what I'm saying, whether people like it or not. And as for Ira Burnham, yeah, I was angry with him last night, but let's not forget who the real villain of the piece here is. It's Garner Gay, and we all love Garner Gay. You know, we like to forget that fact that he's a homophobic little shit. We forget that. We like to, you know, push
that gets pushed under, doesn't it?
Yeah, we like that, but the fact is, we've got that with him, and now what he done on Monday, I don't care whether he deserves to get sent off or not. What people think. The fact is, under the letters of the law, he deserved to be sent off. He raised his hands to a person's face. If it had been Bruno Fernandes doing that to Keane, we would have screamed for Fernandes to be sent off, and rightly so. But he done it to his own player, and not only that, he's lost us. We've lost them for 3 games now, and we've lost them until February, like every January, and that's unprofessional. He should be fined a month's wages. But not only that, if there is the possibility that he done it just so he can get some time off before AFCON, I'd arrange 5 fucking behind closed doors friendlies for him to play in against Fleetwood Town reserves or Accrington Stanley reserves. Because if he thinks he's getting time off and a rest, no, you're playing. You're not getting that benefit.
I think the big issue for me with it as well is we should be past the point where we're relying on him that much. You know, he's 36, 37. We need to be transitioning away from him being key to the team for the last 2 years, and it still looks like we've not got anyone who's going to be able to fill in with him. And you know, that's a massive issue. Then, like you say, John, with the recruitment. You know, we've got Devlin there, and we seem to go on about this all the time. We've got players there who can't get on the pitch that we paid like a lot of money for. In the summer, and it's chaotic, like Dave said. The whole thing feels chaotic, doesn't it?
Yeah,
what you said about Garner Gay as well. It's the same with the position at right back at the moment. I think Mike mentioned Jake O'Brien before.
Yeah.
Again, look, we all know he's not a right back, but when he was put there last year, he was there doing a job and he did it effectively. And at that point, because right back had been neglected for at least 2 years before, and it's right now go out and sign a right back. And again in the summer, I cannot believe they failed to address it. I can't. It's utter negligence. Seamus Coleman, I love him to death. He can't play football at this level that consistently anymore. He simply can't do it. And Nathan Patterson,
Does anyone know where he is? Has anyone heard about him?
What more can I say about him?
He's human. He's part of a human caterpillar with Benitez. But I mean, that just sums up our recruitment over the last 5-6 years. We turned down Tino Livramento.
This always burns my head out.
Or Patterson. I mean,
for about 3 times as much as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but I honestly think that fat prick and that fucking fodless wonder conspired deliberately to do that.
Oh, definitely. I think so as well.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, and then the signing of Mikalenko, I mean, Christ almighty, that lad, he tries, but he's that bad. You know, he's, honestly, I mean...
19 minutes and 8 seconds, right? That's the first edit.
Oh, wait till you got later. No, I'm only joking. Just the ball comes to him, and he looks like he's never seen a football before.
Right, done it.
And then, I heard him saying, "Oh, will we play?" I was unlucky enough to be on a press conference, a conference call with Mail and Roll on Thursday, and
oh god, yeah, like we need some background for that. How did that go?
Yeah, well, basically, if Darren Griffiths watches this, you robbed my question, Darren, and I know it. But it's all right. I'll let you know. No, it went well, and he seems a nice kid. But you know, he's just constantly injured, isn't he? Another one.
Yeah, I know. And we've got to buy him in the summer, haven't we?
Yeah. And he's saying about how good Mikalenko is at chess, and I was like, great, Get him to play Gary Cahill. Just don't have him playing left back. I honestly can't see how bad Asnu must be. He must have no legs. He must be like Douglas Bader, because that's the only way he could be worse than Mikalenko. And even then, I'm not convinced he'd be worse.
And again, we've paid 8 million for him for like a young player. It's like, if you pay him 8 million, he's got to be good enough to get in at some point when things are this bad. It's mad.
With Everton, I think technically he's a competent player, but when you lose someone like Garner Gray, and even like James Garner yesterday, like stepping up to try and do Garner Gray's job, it's hard work. Just watching him like amble around the pitch for that third yesterday. That Walter always looks like he's running in treacle, and he still managed to beat Erabunum to the ball on several occasions. And that wasn't like that underlined just how slow Erabunum is. Like he just seemed so like unaware, like he had all the time in the world. He was just constantly caught on the ball.
Well, do you see the amount of times he got knocked off the ball by Anthony Elanga?
Yeah.
Now, Anthony Elanga's a really good player. He's quick. He's got he can get the ball in the box. But I honestly thought it was Anthony Joshua, the way he was getting knocked off the ball by him. Honestly, it was that was. I mean, the lads. I feel sorry for the lad, because I mean, it was like a prize winner there, competition winner getting a game there, because he just looked so out of his depth. But still, he's got to find something. Moyes has got to justify this high wage he's earning now and find a solution to our midfield problems, because what's his next solution? Play Jake O'Brien in midfield, put Tarkowski in midfield. I don't know. He's prone to making those kind of ridiculous things. And you remember the Jagielka as a centre midfielder experiments of 2007?
Oh God, yeah.
Christ.
Well, the thing is, on Monday night, you could say he was forced into dropping. I mean, Dewsbury Hall was shite yesterday as well, but he was forced into dropping him back, and it worked. And then yesterday, he lashed him back in the number 10, which doesn't work at all. It's like Moyes generally stumbles across these formulas and formations that like end up working, and then we go with it. But he just like sort of reverted back to the stuff that's not been working all season. It's mad. And I think for me, Erabunum, he's a last 20, 30 minute player. Like, you want to see the game out, he comes on, he can do a decent job there. I think when the game's, getting towards the end and everyone's a bit knackered, because like you say, Paul, he's not got any pace about him at all. And
I think you were partially right there, Les, when you said last 20, 30 minute player. If you just get rid of 20, 30 minute player, 20, 30 minute, you've got him.
Fair enough. We'll move on to Fonzie's question. When will Moyes be sacked, and is Dibbling being held hostage on the bench? Blink once of yes and twice for no. What happened with the subs, by the way, towards the end of yesterday's game? Who came on? I have no idea. I haven't paid I'm going to have to before Blue Monday tomorrow, like, sadly, but...
Beto came on with 5 minutes to go. Dibbling came on, I want to say, for 10, 15 minutes. Grealish and Njai just got taken off. Dwight McNeil graced us with his presence yesterday. So I think that, I mean, when we were talking just before about options you'd do in the midfield, Dewsbury Hall in the 10 for me, probably not a long-term solution. Like you said, drop him back, put Alcaraz in the 10 if you need to.
Yeah.
And I think before we get on to this question here, I think there needs to be a little bit of a discussion around Jack Grealish constantly being left out on the left. I feel like that's a waste of his ability, and I feel like it's just tired now. It's
too easy to negate, isn't it?
He's out left. Yeah. It's just, we need to do something different for him. Could he not play in the 10? Could he not stay on the left, but just do something different? Could he cut inside? Could he just constantly... I know it's not his game, but can he just fly at a fullback or have Mikalenko overlapping? Just do something different, because it's any time he gets on the ball now, he holds it up, and it's like we're waiting for other players to get in the box, or we're waiting for Mikalenko to leave his sentry box and bomb on and try and try and create a problem. So I think that's something for another day. But looking at the question, when will Moyes be sacked? Well, I mean,
he's not gonna be, is he?
No,
I don't particularly want him to be at this point.
No. But those comments he made after the game, again, I tweeted last night for the first time since 2013. Piss off, Dave. The comments he made about we're not at Newcastle's level. I'm sorry, they haven't won an away game all season until tonight. Don't be saying that.
Yeah,
and if you're having that conversation about Arsenal, about City, I'd go, yeah, fair enough. We're not Newcastle. Don't care how rich they are. Don't care what the midfield's like.
We've got Dan Burn in the team.
Yeah, Dan Burn, and we played them last year. We beat them. They were chasing Champions League. We beat them. Like, we beat them 3-0 at Goodison the year before. Like, they're Newcastle. They're not fucking Man City or Arsenal. So that comment for me is just, it feels like he'll make a comment every now and then and it'll show his age. Like everyone calls him a dinosaur, he'll just come up with something like that.
Yeah.
I personally don't want him sacked, and I think he's earned the right to, not just over the last 11 years in his first spell, but he's earned the right now because he kept us up. It made us much better. And we need a period of time now where he just stabilises the club, and he is the right man to do it. And look, there'll be plenty of moments like Monday night, and there'll be a few more moments like yesterday's game, and I think that'll just be part of the course for the rest of this season until we get to another window and we can address hopefully right back and up front again.
Yeah, it is those comments though, isn't it? That's frustrating because, like, just to dig into Newcastle's away record, that's the first, like you say, Paul, that's the first away win. And the last two away, they went 1-0 up at West Ham and Brentford and got beat 3-1 in both games. So, even taking the lead in the first minutes, we should have looked at that and thought, right, okay, that's not a great start, but we can get at these, and we just didn't touch them all game. John, what are your thoughts on Moyes?
I hate Moyes. I have done since about 2007. I mean, I appreciate what he does, but in 2007, remember when he was signing that new contract and he held us to ransom for a bit, I might go to Spurs kind of thing. So he's always been on my shit list. And then the 2013 of, I don't know, I'm going to United, and like saying like that, he'd only just decided when we all knew he hadn't. And then trying to sign Baines and Fellaini when he was still being paid by us. So these little things that happen, they just make me go back and make me remember that I fucking hate him. He's a dour man who plays dour football. And okay, we'll go, well, we've had Arteta, we had Baines, we had a couple of years of that, but we also had Strachwalesi, we also had Velios, we also had Steve Watson up front under him. So, there are, the broken clocks, right, twice a day, and I don't want him sacked. This sounds against what I'm saying now. I don't want him sacked because we can't just keep sacking managers every time they do something bad. We've got to have that little level of stability. But more importantly, it's time for the fucking Freakins now to up the game. I was this Angus Kinnear. I mean, wasn't impressed by him anyway. I mean, I see him talk, and I've heard more inspiration in a wet fart. There's absolutely nothing that comes from that makes me think he's competent enough to do what he needs to do.
He's very, very LinkedIn, isn't he? The way he talks, he's just like he's full of blue sky thinking. He'll push the envelope, But I mean, the recruitment of no right back, signing a left back that clearly you don't think's good enough, and so why did we sign him? Yeah,
and signing. Let's be honest. I feel sorry for the lad, but Tierno Barry, he's had no shots on target in nearly 3.5 months of the season. He's not going to make it. If you can, there have been strikers who've not scored a goal in the first 3 or 4 months, but he's not had a shot on target. No striker comes back from that.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me yesterday was there was a chance yesterday. I think Dewsbury all played the ball through to him, and all he had to do was let it run through, take that finish, and he just looked at it. And he's. This sounds awful. I don't trust gangly strikers.
You're not a fan of the big galoot, no.
No. I mean, give me a stocky Kevin Campbell type player who's got a bit of weight and a bit of heft about him. But those strikers who've got like Peter Crouch, apart from a couple of seasons, Crouch was not really that good if we're being honest, just because he's a sound fella. But that kind of gangly thing, they're awkward. They don't know what they're doing, and they can't really control the body. And he's got that look about him. 1 minute he'll do something outrageous, and then the next thing he'll let that ball hit his heel because he can't control. There's a difference between the brainwaves being sent out and his body reacting to it. So
yeah, I think
I'd love him to make it, and I'd love him to prove me wrong, but I will give anyone good odds on that he will not make it at Everton.
I think Dave always compares him to Paolo One-Shot, where he's just like, he never seems to be fully in control of his limbs, and he can do something dead good 1 second, but then fall over the ball the next. It's just quite a frustrating thing to see. On Moyes.
But the difference is Paolo One-Shot scores one of the best goals of the 1990s on his debut.
I don't remember that.
That one against United, when they beat United 3-2 in March 1997.
I'll go back to that.
He beats about 4 men and chips Schmeichel. Oh, that's right. Well, sorry, whoever the goalie was then. It might have been Schmeichel. I can't remember with United. It was Schmeichel. Great goal. Can you see Barry doing that, beating 4 players? Could you see him playing against Arsenal on the 20th of December, going past 4 of their players and then just thinking it over, right? We're not going to see that, are we? And that's the difference. One-Shot was a good, skillful footballer with a lot of quality. Barry's not in that level even.
Yeah,
he's in the Kevin Francis level.
Big Kevin Francis. the old strike partner of Brett Angel.
Yeah, I don't mean in terms of ability, because he's got better ability than Kevin Francis, but he's in that not being a goal-scoring striker level.
Yeah. That's it. That's just the last thing we needed, wasn't it? A striker who doesn't score goals, and like to go back to Grealish, a wing with no pace. It's like, why do we keep doing this?
I've got a theory about that, though. Do you know?
I
think. Do you know when they're searching in the using whatever database they're using to scout players and recruit them?
Evo Soccer.
Or even like transfer room, whatever it is. I think that when they search for a specific striker with specific attributes, they are leaving finishing or goal scoring at the lowest attribute, and they just haven't realised it yet.
Yeah.
So when they're searching for these players, we're throwing up all these strikers that look really impressive, but we're just overlooking that one important part, that one important attribute that all strikers need: the ability to score a goal.
Angus, did you check the goal scoring box on the thing? What's that? Shit.
Oh, that explains a lot.
you could definitely be onto something there.
I don't want the Richarlison back neither.
Nah. No, we need to stop doing that, don't we?
I know
he's very, very evident.
He'll probably score 7 or 8 goals if we get him back in January, but he's not a prolific enough goal scorer for us. If we're going to push on, we need a prolific goal scorer. And I don't even mean like Haaland. I don't mean this player exactly now, but somebody who had done like Danny Ings and like when he was at Burnley when he was getting 19, 20 goals.
Yeah.
Someone who we're not going to break the bank for, but look at someone who can do that.
A lot of teams manage it.
Lads at Coventry scoring a few goals now, isn't there?
Does that?
Lads at Coventry up front. Sims?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bring me Troy Parrott.
Yeah.
Exactly that, but he's that kind of build, isn't he? That I'm on about, you know, that bit bigger than Danny Ings, but he can control his limbs, and that's all I want.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too much to ask for football, should it really?
Well, you know, I mean, Stephen Hawkins got better control over his limbs than Barry from Beto.
33, 21.
Oh, come on. It's not too soon.
It's fine. I'm only messing. Right. We're going to move on to a question now from Liam. What's less reliable, Ray Charles landing a plane or Jordan Pick for the corners? Nice comparison. I am never one to bring in any Jordan Pickford slander, but yeah, his things at corners does take a lot to be desired. Joe picked up on it yesterday. So obviously, as I always go on about Joe, my youngest lad's a goalkeeper. He's only small himself. He's under 17s now, so you got some big lads in there, but he still comes out to corners and manages to punch it, and he does it really well. Something Jordan Pickford never really does and never has done. And like, to go back to Branthwaite, when he was there, he was very commanding, and I don't think it's any coincidence that now we're suddenly really bad at defending corners. Now he's not there, but that's on the keeper as well, isn't it, Paul? He's got to be more commanding.
Yeah. No, I think, as you said, your lad's a goalkeeper, and it's like, you know, it doesn't matter what level you play. If you play a certain position, in whether it's Premier League, whether it's Sunday League, it doesn't matter. You play a particular position, you know what's expected, you know how to do that job properly. And I think, obviously, I analyse like centre backs. So I play centre back myself, and I just watch certain things centre backs do, and you just know, like Lenny Otto, for example, I just can't have him because of my experience. Like, I know he'll always play at a much higher level than me, and he's a better centre-back than me, but I can just see that he's not all that, because there are just certain things that I do as a centre-back that, like, very basic things that he just doesn't do, and I just can't have him for that reason. But like, and it's the same with your lad in Pickford. And what I did notice yesterday, and I think, to be fair, Newcastle obviously used this as a tactic because they identified as weaknesses at commanding corners. There were 5 separate occasions yesterday where Newcastle had 5 corners, and each and every time they did that silly little handshake huddle at the back, and then they all went behind the goal into the net, and they swarmed them. Like, at least 5, 6 Newcastle players, they all swarmed Pickford. And then I can't remember whether they did that for the first goal, but again, that would explain a lot if they did. The second, the third, the fourth, and it was only after the third time where Craig Pawson thought, "Oh, hang on, he's being impeded here." The same referee, by the way, who let Jack Grealish and Iliman and Jai on Vicario. That's a foul, apparently.
Yeah.
But 5 players around the goalkeeper. No, crack on, lads. You just do you. So I think that is nearly the concern. Obviously, shot stopping with Pickford, he's great. His distribution at times can be great as long as he's not putting it out for a throw. But I think it is an area for concern. My dad says the same thing about Pickford. He says, like, for all the good games he has, he's not very commanding in this area. So I think that's very, very fair show. It's very fair criticism and something that needs to be addressed, really. And
so, John, is the job of the centre half then to sort that out? Because if he's not, he's 30 now, 31, he's probably not going to ever improve that part of his game. Is it on the centre backs and the defenders, if those strikers are swarming around them, to get in there and get them out the way?
Well, the job of the centre half is to protect your goalkeeper anyway, and Tarkowski and Keane haven't been doing it.
Yeah.
Pickford the corners is like, do you know that scene in Game of Thrones, the Battle of the Bastards, when they're all being like kettled and Jon Snow's like that?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Pickford's like. He looks like that at corners. He looks desperate, like he's gasping for his last breath. But Pickford, Tarkowski and Keane are just like, yeah, okay, you do what you want in there. They don't look like yesterday at them corners. Malik Shaw and Dan Burn were like, "This is my ball, no matter what." And Michael Keane and James Tarkowski, well, I might go for it, And Tarkowski's another one. I'm sick to death of his plastic hard man act. Just play football. We know you're not really a hard man, and just because you kick people every now and then, but you're just doing it at the wrong times. Just play. Just get rid of the ball and stop acting like you're some kind of psycho, because you're not. And it's to the detriment of his game this season, because he's been absolute dog shite this season.
He has, and this is where I think, like, this is where the manager, like you said before, Johnny, needs to earn his money and make big decisions. One of which would be to drop Tarkowski for me, put Jake O'Brien at centre back, and then stick Garner at right back. It just
right back.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying.
Roll back the years. Sorry, Paul. What was that?
What you were saying about centre backs there as well. I think you're spot on. The moment those Newcastle players, I mean, again, come back, you do that Sunday League and 11 aside. If I see the opposition swarming our goalie, you get in, and within like the rules of the game, you're doing everything you can to fucking move them and get them out the way.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. It's just common sense. But they just allowed it constantly. Like, I was flagging it after 3-4 minutes after every corner. They're professional footballers. They should know better. The minute they see that happening, hang on a minute, lads, swarming our goalie here, get round, get them away, push them.
Well, like you say,
it's an elaborate ruse, you know what I mean?
It's the same game. At whatever level you play, it's the same game, and your ability level is all relative, isn't it? So it's like, it doesn't matter. It's the same game, and people do the same things. My under-17s, if they see Joe getting swarmed, one of our big centre-backs runs in and just pushes the lad out the way. Straight away. If only to be like, get off him, just because it's like, it's me mate. Even that. Yeah. But that instinct doesn't seem to be there, which is just mad. I don't understand it. But yeah, I think...
we got Michael Keane off the football pitch. Michael Keane seems like a reasonably articulate, intelligent human being. On the pitch, he turns into Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Just a big idiotic galoot, and he's physically imposing but soft as shit. And and I'm just sick to death of seeing it. Like he needs his hand holding every game, and people go, he's been playing well this year. Only relative to what he's been playing over the years before, where he's not so much Calamity Keane anymore, but he's still fucking Lenny. He's still fucking, maybe we should take him out to the barn and shoot him, you know. You know, metaphorically, I mean, not literally.
Yeah, glue factory, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Matasat, and a great question. You know, don't want to dig anyone out whose fault it is, but it could be his fault. Should Rick Wee be banned from Everton matches? Yes.
Yes, that's all we need to say.
Not impersonal.
Not impersonal, but yeah, just don't come back, please.
But you're a Jonah.
Stephen has asked, after being horrendously pissed introducing himself terribly to most of the Blue Room crowd outside the Denby. Gutted I wasn't there last night, actually. I had to get off. What's the worst introduction / first impression you've made with someone? That's the end of the football chat, by the way. He was also pissed when he first met the in-laws, but thankfully they still like him. John, bad introductions?
Probably in work when I first started. Like, I'm not sure anyone knows, but you probably noticed I've got ADHD, so I haven't really got a filter. And one of the worst places not to have a filter is in an operating theatre. And one of the consultants, I found out that one of the consultants went to school with a family friend, and I said, well, somebody independently of him asked me where I'm from, and I said Breck Road, and he had this voice where he goes, Breck Road, I'm not sure I know that. And I was like, yeah, you do. It's where your mum and dad had the grocery shop.
What was he just being dead snooty and aloof? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He forgets that he's from Scotty Road and his family had a shop on Breck Road. But and he goes, "Oh, Breck Road. I thought you said Brook Road." And I went, "No, you didn't." Nowadays, I'd have gone, "Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah." But at them days, I doubled down and didn't back down. And in the end, he just walked away, and then I never really got on with him after that.
You just weren't taking the shit that day, were you?
Any day, and it wasn't like deliberately. It was just I didn't, and so I kind of made a bad impression with him. Made a bad impression with in them days, the senior assistant in the theatre. You didn't want to upset her, and she hated me after that. So
good start, yeah. Paul,
not necessarily through my own fault, a bad impression I've made, but the only thing that comes to mind, an ex-girlfriend from many, many, many years ago, met the father, who again will remain absolutely nameless. I'm not going to mention any names because it's a bad one. So I'm introduced. Oh, this is Paul, Dad, blah blah blah. Oh, what's the English sport, lad? Everton. He then turned round to said girl and goes, "I'd rather you bring in racial slur here
fucking hell
than an Evertonian." To which I went, yeah, I'm gonna go. And I thought, that's done. Oh, maybe not necessarily that soon, but very not long after, I just went, yeah, I'm not here for that. And that's just goes against everything I stand for as a human being. But yeah, that bad.
But that's not you. That's not you making the bad impression.
No, I know.
No, but yeah, I mean, he sounds like some fella, don't Jesus.
Progressive.
A piece of work. Then the only other weird introduction I've made, probably Duncan Ferguson at Finch Farm, when I went to visit Finch Farm quite a few years ago, and it was just like we were on a tour of the training ground, and then there was just unexpected dunk, and I just literally turned around and went, "Oh my god, it's dunk!" Just like on a whim, I was just like proper starstruck at that moment. So yeah, probably that. From personal point of view, that other one, but then writing it back to the 40.
I can't remember who it was, but I did introduce myself to some boxer as that boxer's name. It may have been Carl Froch or George Groves. I've got a feeling it was on that press conference. He just looked at me and went, I went, yeah, you know.
Sorry, yeah, that's you, isn't it? Oh.
I just walked away.
I think my worst one was New Year, years ago. So I went to a family party with Louise's family, extended family and some mates and that. And just got like remarkably bladdered to the point where it got to a stage where I had to get sat out of the main living room in the kitchen to sort of just like calm down and like just not be a massive knobhead.
decompress.
I wasn't being obnoxious or horrible. I was just really just uncontrollably bladdered to the point where there was a load of drinks on a table and I basically did the matrix over it. Nearly fell onto it, but somehow managed to keep me balanced. Went basically horizontal, and it was at that point I was sort of like lifted out and go, just sit in the kitchen and calm down for a bit. So yeah, that wasn't a nice one, and yeah, never lived that one down. Right, we're going to finish on some musical notes. Maggie's asked some questions, but I can't find them.
I think she might have asked them in Denby last night when she realised it was Sunday mailbag.
Right.
So yeah, if you can't find them, they can roll over to the next one.
I'll dig them out for next week. So we'll end on a couple of musical ones. Tangled Up in Blues. Neil Young sang Only Love Can Break Your Heart, but only because he didn't know about Everton. What's your favourite misery, self-pity, heartbreak song, Paul?
Bloody difficult, that, isn't it?
Do you want to come back?
Yeah, there's one specifically I'm thinking of. Come back to me.
Okay, John.
I'm going to try and think of the name of the song.
As soon as you hear that first note.
Yeah, no, Only Love Can Break Your Heart, yeah, by Neil Young, but For No One by the Beatles.
Yeah.
Got it. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House.
That's a belter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just sings to me.
Yeah.
It's also a bit raw because it came out like just about the time we won the league in '87.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, bit on the nose, that, isn't it? My go-to is always Johnny Cash here because it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me really, really sad. So even if I'm in a dead good mood and I want to be in a bit of a sad mood, I'll just lash that on and I'm done.
Yeah.
Last question from Rob. Let's get festive. Favourite Christmas song, or are they all bobbins? I don't think so. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Fairy Tale in New York, always.
Rock and Roll Christmas. No,
I mean, if you want to separate the art from the artist, it is a banger. It is a banger.
Yeah, no, it is. I fully agree.
But no, that's not my favourite for obvious reasons. I like Jonah Louie, Stop the Cavalry.
Yeah, that is a belter.
And also Shaky. But there's one, and it's a version of Band-Aid. And has anyone seen it? Where a fella just names 133 footballers to the tune of Band-Aid.
No.
I will send it in the group later. It is genius.
Yeah, so the Shakin' Stevens one, the Reds have ruined that for me.
Not really. I don't know if you remember how we redeployed it in December 2005.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back with the...
I'll tell you at the end.
All right.
So, Merry Christmas, everyone. I vividly remember sitting next to my dad watching, I think it was a season review of Everton in 1995. And we just won the FA Cup. I remember sitting on the couch towards Christmas with my dad watching it. And it was like a video montage of like all Everton scoring goals against the shite and against everyone, and very positive upbeat video. And that was the song for the back. And so anytime I hear that, I always think Everton and my dad sitting on the couch.
Wasn't that one of them? Remember the videos they done? Remember they used to have This Is Everton videos? That was on one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might be that video. I just vividly remember like a boat going across on the Mersey and then kicking into like all festive toffees.
Yeah.
It was great.
That was it. Yeah, it was on that This Is Everton. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that then. Mine then. It's cliche to be cynical at Christmas. Half man, half biscuit. I'm always got to go for a half man, half biscuit one.
Yeah.
And although it's not a Christmas song, Midnight Mass Murder is very, very on the nose. It's so good. And yeah, I think for a proper Christmas one, Greg Lake, I Believe in Father Christmas. It just reminds me of being a kid and putting the Christmas tape on Christmas Eve when I went to bed.
Also, the Frog song. I know it's not really a Christmas song, but it came out December '84.
It did so. That Christmas, my dad tried to buy me it on vinyl and couldn't get it, so I got Do They Know It's Christmas instead. But yeah, I love the Frog Chorus. It's definitely a Christmas song now.
Yeah. People slag McCartney off for it, but I think it's genius. I mean, I'm not even saying that as a ironic thing. It is genuinely a work of genius.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And yeah, for anyone of a certain age who was a kid in 1984, you're never going to hate the Frog Chorus. Absolutely.
No.
John, do you want to finish on the reworking of Merry Christmas, everyone, for Everton? No? Okay.
I think it might be one for the end of the recording.
All right, we'll leave it there then, and we'll leave that mystery hanging in the air unless anyone knows themselves.
I'm sure everyone will know it. But...
All right, that's been it for this week's mailbag. Sorry, Maggie, I will get your questions in next week. I'll take them out. I just couldn't find them this morning. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, John. Ian, get well soon, mate. That's been mailbag. We'll catch you next time.